Okay, today we're going to learn about the hill and valley cursive letters. This is lesson 6. So they're called the hill and valley letters because they kind of go up and down. The first letter we're going to be going over is the letter M. These letters also include N, V, X, Y, and Z. So as you make these letters, for the letter M, you go up the hill, down to the valley, up the hill, down the valley, up the hill, down the valley. So when you make an M, you're coming in from another letter, you're connecting it. It ends up actually being 3 humps. So you go 1, 2, 3 for M. For N, it's very similar to the for N, it's very similar to the M. There's only 2 humps. You go up the hill, down the valley, up the hill, down the valley twice. So 1, 2 before you continue to the next letter. This one's a V. You go up the hill, down the valley, up, and then on to your next letter. Up the hill, down the valley, on to your next letter. For X, you go up the hill, down the valley, and then you lift up your pencil and cross. If like a X is in a word, you don't come back and cross the X until the very end of the whole word, just like you do with like dotting your I's or crossing your T's. So X, you up the hill, down the valley, cross. Y, up the hill, down the valley, up the hill, down below that lower line, and loop. Up the hill, down the valley, up the hill, below the lower line, loop. Make sure you notice that none of these letters today go above the dotted line. So when you turn yours in, double check that your letters did not go above the dotted line. The letter Z is a little bit trickier. Up the hill, down the valley, 1 loop, down, 2 loops. Up the hill, down the valley, loop, down below the line, loop. I know that Z can be a little bit tricky. So remember when you see the solid lines, you can trace those if you want to get some extra practice, but you need to write those, copy them on the blank lines below, just like they are. So remember, so for all these letters here, you start on the very bottom line. So up the hill, down the valley, up the hill, down the valley. So if remember, M, it's 3 humps. So 1, 2, 3. N is 2 humps starting on the bottom line. 1, 2. 1, 2. V, just go down and up. Or no, sorry, up, down, up. I did not do a very good V on that one. For X, remember, up the hill, down the valley, come back and cross. Up the hill, down the valley, come back and cross. For example, if I like wrote the word fox, you don't cross the X till the very end, okay? For Y, up the hill, down the valley, up the hill, down and loop. Up the hill, down the valley, up the hill, down, loop. Z, up the hill, down the valley, loop, loop. Up the hill, down the valley, loop, loop. So notice, just remember one more reminder, none of the letters today go above that dotted line. So double check that, okay? So then down here, they're gonna have you put a lot of letters we've learned together. The first word is manhole. So you start with doing 3 humps for the M, 1, 2, 3. Connect it to the A, go up, counterclockwise around, down, and 2 humps, 1, 2. A tall loop all the way to the top. Back down, 1 hump. O, up, counterclockwise around, loop, all the way to the top for that L, to the middle line for that E. So remember, the ones that are dotted lines, you do need to trace. And then when there's also blank lines, you need to trace the words on top of those, on those lines, just as they are. Okay, so make sure you're doing all of this, all of these words as well. And these, we're really starting to put some words together, kind of exciting. Okay, Yeah, let me know if you have any more questions. Though this is lesson 6, the hill and valley.